Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Welcome to the Infowars Nightly News. It is Monday, February 16th, 2015, and I'm Leanne McAdoo. Here are tonight's top stories.
Tonight, Egypt retaliates against reported ISIS attacks. Then, are robot cops coming to a city near you? And hashtag I love Obama trends on Twitter. That's next on the Infowars Nightly News.
So what if there's 2 quadrillion derivatives? So what if we're having a war with Russia? So what if we're funding Al-Qaeda? So what if they're opening the borders up and ignoring the law? So what if they shut off our power plants? So what if they carry on?
The ISIS terror group released another video on Sunday showing the beheading of 21 Egyptian Christians. The Islamic State's Al Hayat Media, which is the group that has published the previous beheading videos, produced this Libya video, and it's titled "A Message Signed with Blood to the Nation of the Cross." Now, the Egyptian government and the Coptic Church did confirm the authenticity of this footage. It showed the workers all wearing orange jumpsuits and being beheaded near a waterfront that was said to be located in the Libyan province of Tripoli. The men were seized in 2 attacks in December and January from Libya. Now, Libya has largely fallen into lawlessness and civil war because of a U.S.-led effort to depose the late autocrat Muammar Gaddafi in 2011. But in retaliation for the kidnapping and beheading of these 21 Egyptian Christians, the Egyptian Air Force has launched airstrikes, and they say they have killed between 40 and 50 ISIL militants. And the Egyptian president said that Cairo reserves the right to respond in any way after these brutal killings. A U.S.-led coalition that's comprising more than 60 countries is currently conducting airstrikes against the militants. But in addition to airstrikes, the U.S. is going to be putting boots on the ground. Yes, indeed. U.S. troops are headed to Kuwait as ISIS's propaganda war heats up. Stars and Stripes reports that more than 4,000 Fort Carson soldiers with the 3rd Brigade Combat Team left Colorado for Kuwait last week. On Thursday, the U.S. ambassador to the UN said U.S. troops will not see combat in Syria and Iraq. She said you have to get the Iraqis and ultimately the Syrian moderate opposition groups up so they can fight the fight on the ground. There has to be a fight on the ground. You can't do this by air, and everyone acknowledges that. So, of course, there are going to be boots on the ground, and she's basically just reaffirming that we will continue arming and training the rebels. Of course, you know, these are the same rebels who then turn around and we have to fight them with all of their newly adopted CIA training. And you'll also recall that ISIS has captured the town of al-Baghdadi, which is just about 5 miles from where U.S. Marines were training Iraqi soldiers to also fight this fight on the ground. So we're still putting our troops at risk. Now, despite the fact that ISIS has not attacked the United States and most of the domestic attacks that are foiled are orchestrated by the FBI, 84% of Americans consider ISIS and international terrorism to be the biggest threat to American security. Now, despite that fact, and despite this latest execution by ISIS, the president refuses to acknowledge that these men were Christians. He only calls them citizens. He said earlier when the Muslim jihadists attack random people in a deli, that's what he called them, just a random attack. Now, this, of course, this deli was a kosher deli in a Jewish neighborhood. Doesn't seem very random there. He doesn't want to call it call it like it is when it's uncomfortable. Now, Congress's first Navy SEAL, Ryan Zink, says that President Obama's reckless attitude toward foreign policy provides fuel for terrorism. And he says this administration wants to negotiate with terrorists. And he puts on this friendly face when we have Americans being beheaded. And he's basically calling on us to empathize with them because of the Crusades, as if Christians now should bear the burden of their ancestors. But after ISIS killed American U.S. aid worker Kayla Mueller last week, Obama was smiling and he was taking selfies with a selfie stick and just trying to be, hip with the millennials. I mean, I guess that's better than going for a round of golf directly after one of these videos. But even though, the president is clearly out of touch with what's going on in the rest of the world, he's very good at putting off that folksy attitude that the kids really like. So that's, he can be hip with the youth. This is why so many people are still drinking the Kool-Aid. This was actually trending on Twitter last night. Hashtag I love Obama. Now, it was supposed to be an effort for leftists to show their love and appreciation for dear leader, President Obama. But of course, it was quickly taken over by people pointing out that Americans are being beheaded, our troops are at risk, we're $18 trillion in debt. But all of these people are obsessed with this man. They say it's a mental disorder, now into a full-on cult. But just what else has the president done to be so worthy of this occult-like worship?
Joe Biggs here with Infowars.com. Now, a local Fox affiliate out of San Diego, Fox 5, accidentally depicts President Obama as a rape suspect in last night's 10 o'clock news.
The only suspect in a sex assault at SDSU will not be charged.
Maybe Fox actually got something right for once. Let's talk about all the different ways that President Obama has raped America. Is this news editing mistake a Freudian slip? Or are we being gaslighted to subconsciously capitulate our awareness to the rapist in chief? Since taking office as the 44th President of the United States, President Barack Hussein Obama has forcibly violated what was left of our constitutional rights. The National Defense Authorization Act grants his office the power to deploy the U.S. military to apprehend and indefinitely detain any person, including American citizens, who he believes represent an enduring security threat to the United States. Section 1071 of the version of the 2014 NDAA amplifies the range of surveillance established by the Patriot Act and the authorization for the use of military force. Obama's pillaging of our healthcare system raises a failing tax system on the poor and delivers a heavy final blow to the struggling middle class. His hugely unpopular open border policy threatens the very security of the United States, as ISIS has clearly shown the ability to slip into America undetected. Meanwhile, known terror cells train within the United States unmolested, while you and I have our private parts funneled by the TSA just to get on an airplane in the land of the free. He lied to the American people just like a predator when he claimed that Bush's raising of our debt was irresponsible and unpatriotic, then turned around and assaulted our wallets by skyrocketing the debt by another $7.3 trillion while blowing millions on his golf games and vacations. He promised an end to the war while advancing the New World Order's agenda forward in Benghazi, Syria, Libya, Egypt, and even right here at home by supporting rhetoric that fuels racist division. His war on journalists and whistleblowers, bankers, and friends that got too close is insatiable. Michael Hastings, Tom Clancy, Andrew Breitbart, Michael Cormier, Loretta Feudy, Harold Green, Barnaby Jack, Christopher Kelly, Albert Peterson. These are just a few of the names. All met with suspicious ends to their threats to his power. And now his vicious, unprecedented aggression is aimed point blank at the last remaining vestige of free speech as he utilizes the independent FCC and FEC to quietly shut down all opposed to his handler's agenda by regulating the internet. Now, once he has accomplished this, as most of America idly sat by with a hardcore case of Stockholm Syndrome, then the police state that has been rearing its bloodthirsty head will fall into place as the rollout advances as it has been designed in many of the documents we have been showing you. So there you have it. Those are the many different ways that President Obama has been raping our great country over the past few years. The horrible thing is that we still have 2 more years to go with this. So stay tuned for more reports. I'm Joe Biggs with Infowars.com.
All right, I'll go get my rape stool.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfowarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfowarsLife.com. That's InfowarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.